Welcome to this masterclass, Real Estate Lingo, Unlocking the Technical Vocabulary for Agents. This is part of a series of masterclasses that I have been developing for EXP Mexico and the agents that I have the honor to be the mentor for. So we are going to be covering a few aspects in this masterclass. The first aspect will be introduction. So we're going to talk a little bit about an introduction of this class, what we're going to learn. Property types, we're going to speak about a little bit different type of properties that we are going to encounter within our practice. Appraisal and valuation. We're also going to be speaking about the value of things, contracts and agreements, financing and mortgages, property management, and a conclusion of this class. So as an introduction, welcome fellow agents, everybody. Today we're going to do something a little bit different and essential in our profession, that is basically talk about a little vocabulary that we need in the time that we're facing our clients. And basically this is just wording that you will need as a terminology to make the difference in your career. So when we're dealing with clients, as agents in the different industries that we face, right? Because some clients come from other backgrounds in industry, we need to have the correct vocabulary when speaking to a client. If my client is very knowledgeable in numbers, I'm going to adapt my vocabulary and so on. If my client like to speak more about the capital gain, the ROI, the cap, then I definitely want to speak to my client with the same terminologies and understand the conversation that it's ongoing. Now, in the property types, as agents, we encounter a variety of properties when we go in our line of work, right? And this could be from commercial properties that is basically, we see other pharmacies, malls. We see also industrial properties whenever this is needed for storage, other facilities for transportation. We can find agricultural properties. We can find residential properties. That is the most common ones. But all of these terminologies we need to know as a real estate agent in order to understand what my client is requesting. And for example, zoning is a term, right? Zoning is a term, and the way the line is designed in specific areas, we definitely need to know the regulations of like how high my client can build in this land. If I were to do this kind of transaction, understand the terms and conditions in which the opportunity is presented, and be able to navigate with our clients the complex property transaction. But this happens only by us knowing what type of properties are out there that my clients could be inquiring, and which of these properties am I knowledgeable on. So the value of things, every property has a value. We know there is commercial value, there is land value, there's also the added value when people have like done extra investment inside the property. An appraisal is a professional that can give you all the factors of the location, conditions of the materials of the property, and determine the actual value of the property, signed off with the professional backend. This normally happens in resales when the process is in the notary, just so we have to have the actual numbers that we will need in order to issue the deed. However, having a property appraisal, visit your property and have it updated for up to 6 months is still a good idea if you are selling your property, right? An asset that is valued, by a professional normally would also impact in the way that the taxes are laid down in the closing costs, right? It typically impacts also the way that the information is outlined. It gives the certainty to your client of like, hey, you're getting something that has been valuated, and it also avoids potential liabilities in the property by the time that we issue the deed. And this is where the part comes, right? When you're buying a pre-sale property, you're acquiring a promissory note, basically that this thing is going to be built this way, and the construction is going to look like this. So contracts and agreements are things that we always handle in real estate. And why do we do this? We do this by assessing these contracts and agreements, which ones are the types that apply to the reality of my clients. Sometimes my clients are buying in financial models that, they are actually buying shares. Sometimes my clients are actually buying a property in a promissory note because it's in the process of construction. After the promissory note is done, this is the part which can be easily done. But when we get to the part of delivering the unit and visiting the notary public here in Mexico, it's very important to have been drafted a good promissory note. So knowing the type of contracts that you, as a real estate agent, have to handle, your referral agreements, your NDAs, which is non-disclosure agreements for your confidentiality, right? If there are contingencies that you have to also put in the contract. What are contingencies? It's basically, if you do this, if you pay this, you probably get this. And it's a conditioned agreement that happens also within the same type of contract. We also need to know that these contracts may amend. For example, a client could be owning a promissory note, and that promissory note, now they want to add new beneficiaries. So the contract, the promissory note, might have an addendum done to it and be able to add this to the original document. Remember all of these transactions on the part of the contract. The suggestion as a real estate professional is let the lawyers do their work. Be just the translator for your client in the event of any confusion on the contract end. Now, we also need to be ready and packed with solutions for our clients. Thankfully, recently we have received some news that financial options are coming available to the Riviera Maya market, and this is with 5 to 30 years of financing. If you have a FICO score of 680, there could be some improvements on your interest rate, but up to 10.4 interest rate you could be experiencing when acquiring as an American. We don't know about the rest of the foreigners yet. We're working that solution out first with Americans. However, as a Mexican, if you have a credit history and for more than 5 years, you definitely can assess your financial options through the banking institution. When you have a bank in the middle, it's a more secure transactions. We can see on the screen that we have a real-time example of a home that is 300,000, and basically you put in 20,000% down with 30-year fixed interest rate. In this example is very ideal, but for Mexico, remember that interest rates can get higher, up to 14%. It depends on the banking institution, your credit score, and all of the rest things, wow factors that could get you from 7 to 10.4% investing as an American in Mexico today. So property management, I am worried about my property that I just purchased. I do not know what is going to happen. Do we have a solution in place for whenever I get this place? Yes. There are very experimental companies in an emerging market, as we all know. However, property management is crucial for your asset, because now you have this apartment or this property and you want to make money with it. And then when you want to make money with it, you need somebody who does the administration, has the monthly account sent to you, has a very neat organization of income and expenses over the property, whether it is short rental or long-term rental. You need to find the right solution for you. Like I said, many are experimental, so you do want to speak to your real estate agent and ask them which one is the one that you will be considered. This is with the intention of seeing your return of investment, being able to participate in the homeowners association meetings and be up to date through a potential property manager that could represent you while you're not physically in Mexico. So in conclusion, understanding the technical vocabulary for real estate is crucial for us agents in our profession. The type of properties that we're going to be facing, the type of mortgages and financing options that we could have for our clients. Sometimes you don't need to have a lot of money to start owning the first property. You just need to speak to a real estate agent that will give you the mastery and the information with the right steps for you to get to where you want to be as a real estate investor or owner for the first time. We also cater to all of that. We're here to help you navigate just that all of the things that could happen within a transaction. We appreciate our clients' patience while translating. And if you have watched this, all I'm asking you is to share and subscribe if you consider that somebody else could benefit from this content and you want to continue seeing more of these master classes. Thank you and have a great day.